Welcome to Sit Downs with City Lifestyle, Vegas edition. We are back with our Meet the Partners series, and we have a very special guest with us today. He is a dad, a grandpa, a long-standing business owner in the state of Nevada, an attorney, and one of my very longtime friends. So we are very honored to have Mr. Rick Harris, owner of Richard Harris Law Firm, joining the podcast today.
Woo! Welcome!
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for making the time to join us. You did quite the warm-up already with our little table talk here. So we're
They'll
very
never
excited.
know. They'll never know.
They'll never know. Never know.
You don't know that.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, Rick, first of all, thank you for making the time. But for those who may not be familiar, give us a little bit of a background about your firm.
Oh, so
Deep sigh.
I grew up in Las Vegas, came here when I was a kid in the 60s, and had kind of a Vegas experience. I hitchhiked into town with my dad when the car broke down.
Oh, my gosh.
And worked for my dad's Hallmark card store in the Boulevard Mall in Las Vegas, and had other jobs sort of delivering nifty nickel newspapers, the classified newspaper before the internet. That was the way you figured out what you wanted and where to get it. And also had some interesting jobs. I worked at the Westward Ho, which is a casino hotel on the Strip, and I was a laundry porter, and that's at the site where Resorts World is now. Mm-hmm. After that, I worked for Howard Hughes, Summa Corporation. I was a nighttime graveyard shift security guard at the corporate headquarters on at the Alexander Dawson building on Swenson, near Flamingo. And then off to law school, got a great job when I got out of law school with former Mayor Oscar Goodman.
Wow.
When his firm in 1980 was had some interesting clients. It
They
was,
had the mobsters.
Had all the wise guys were clients of the firm.
That's amazing.
These are such great stories.
Right?
The movie Casino
Yes.
was playing out right before my eyes as a young associate in that firm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The Joe Pesci character was a client of the firm. The
Really?
De Niro
God.
character was a client of the firm, and so I had a great experience with Oscar at that firm, and struck out on my own in 1982 to form a personal injury practice. I had no cases other than 3 or 4 cases that the Goodman firm had allowed me to take with me. And I told everybody I was an injury lawyer, but took every other kind of case that came in the door for the first year.
Yeah, you got to do that to survive.
So I was a show business lawyer, I was a zoning lawyer, I was a gaming lawyer, I was a family lawyer, I was a criminal defense lawyer. I did everything for that first year. And then within about a year, I was able to focus exclusively on doing nothing but injury cases. And that was pretty much it. Solo practice until the late, great William Terry, a prominent criminal defense lawyer who had also been with the Goodman firm, joined me in the late 80s. We had a wonderful partnership. I wanted to grow, and he wanted to keep it small. So we parted friends, and he stayed that way with a small but very prominent criminal defense practice. I grew my firm, had a wonderful partnership with the late, great Randall Maynor, and then since '03 have been back on my own at the Richard Harris Law Firm, where my son Josh graduated from law school in '05, and together we rebuilt the firm to what it is today. And today we are Nevada's largest injury firm by any stretch or standard. More lawyers, more staff, more lawsuits filed. And so we have offices in Las Vegas and Reno. We have cases all over the state, and 30-plus lawyers, and happy to say that we've done well. We've represented a lot of people, and also enjoy giving back to the community
In a big way.
In a big way, we try to, and that's part of our culture is to give back. Mm-hmm. And so we look for ways to do that, to partner with worthy causes and good people.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we partner with you.
Yep.
Well, thank
With the
you.
magazine. Yeah. Because it's all about community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and your story with the law industry goes back even further, because it wasn't your great grandpa, it was your great great grandpa.
Oh,
right?
that's right. My great grandpa.
Great great grandpa. Okay.
Was a judge, a territorial judge in Idaho, on the frontier in the
Wow.
late
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
late 1800s,
Wow.
early 1900s. Judge Donaldson was his name, and he was there was no law school. He taught himself the law. He read the law, became a judge, and that was the only lawyer in the family until I came along. And my dad always said, "You'd make a good lawyer," and because I was always debating everything, every question, every issue. I took the opposite side just to explore different
Just to
ideas.
be a contrarian and have fun,
So my dad encouraged me to do that. I saw the movie Paper Chase, the original Paper Chase movie with Timothy Bottoms in the mid '70s. It was about Harvard Law School, and I saw that movie and I was inspired. I thought that looked fun, and so Lindsay Wagner was the co-star of that film, and that was motivation for me. I went to law school in Sacramento, California, the University of the Pacific McGeorge School of Law. Nevada didn't have its law school then, and that's where a lot of Nevada kids went, to Sacramento. And during law school, I read a lot of books on how to start and build your own practice. I had really no desire to work for a firm. I wanted to go on my own. I wanted to be a lawyer for the people. I read book after book. But when the Goodman offer came, it was when I couldn't really
You can't say
Say
no to Oscar.
no.
can't say no to
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That was like the best offer in
Yeah.
town was to work with that firm. So I did that and remained friends with many of those lawyers who were at that firm in Oscar to this day. So couldn't wait to get on my own, though, and really my firm today, which has over 160 people working for us, is just my solo practice that got out of hand just by doing
Got out of hand.
just doing a good job and getting good results and treating the clients right. And, success follows just being a firm with character and integrity and doing a good job for the people.
I think that's one of the biggest things is that, I've known you personally for a long time now, but, one of the biggest things I think that sets you guys apart is how much time you guys take to get to know the people that you're working with. You really take the time to be a good listener and hear their stories and understand their challenges to try to figure out ways that you can find solutions for them.
Yeah, even though we're a extremely high volume firm, we represent thousands of people and hundreds of new clients every month. We really do take the time to get to know our clients. We're not a mill. I think because we're well supported with lawyers and staff, every case is handcrafted. It's not a assembly line. We get to know our clients and appreciate them. We know that these are the most difficult times that they've faced in many cases. Think about it. Every single client of mine is either injured or lost a loved one in an accident. That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And so we do take the time to connect with our clients and feel their emotion and their pain and try to make something good out of something terrible. And so it's quite gratifying at the end of cases to be able to not only hand them a check, but also see the progress that they've made in healing as they've adapted to their new situation, whether it's a permanent residual injury or the permanent loss of a loved one. And life goes on. I've I do believe that the human spirit has a very, very strong survival instinct, and people do survive, and they pick up the pieces and they move on, and we like to be a part of that through assisting them monetarily and with the advice and support of recommendations that we have for medical and psychological support, as well as the community services and social services that might be helpful to help them get through a particular situation.
So I just have a question regarding that. Being involved with so many losses, how do you practice self-care?
You know, there's a lot of hugs, a lot of tears in our office on some of these heavier cases. But I will tell you that there's a little bit of dark humor as well, not only behind the scenes, but with our clients. You know, it's funny how people who have been through a tragedy can look at the bright side and sort of the humorous side of things. And what I find mostly is people don't seek revenge. You know, they know that bad things happen to good people, and what they want is a sense of justice and fair play, so that they know that people are held accountable. But in the end, I would say most forgive, and while they may not forget, they certainly move on and don't hold grudges. So that's actually quite inspirational in my practice, to see people and how they handle the tragedies of, you know, losing a loved one to a drunk driver, for example. Many of them get involved in those organizations that try to bring attention to the problem we have with drunk driving, and you know, whether it's through legislative efforts or community outreach and coping services and other kinds of organizations that help people through these things. I find it's sort of a team effort, and we're part of that, certainly, and grateful to be in a business where we are helping injured people and those who have lost loved ones.
You gave me a piece of advice a long time ago, and it came from your mom, I think, originally, and it was about respect. Do you remember?
Yes.
It was about respect. Do you remember this conversation?
Well, you can remind me, but my mom had the biggest heart of anyone I had ever met. She was a living angel. I never heard her say a bad word about anybody. And so it was always about respect and taking people as they are, and enjoying the diversity of differences that people have. So what did I tell you?
You said everyone is deserving of respect, and if you show other people respect, then it is typically reciprocated in life. And it was 1,000% true, and it was a great piece of advice.
It really is true. So when we meet our new clients in the office, and we sit back and want to hear the story, the very first thing is, tell us what happened. Tell us how you feel. It's not about what's your name, what's your social security number, what's your address. Excuse me, we'll get to your story in a minute. It's not about that. Many times we just sit back and let them talk and tell us how they went through what they went through, how they feel, what they're looking for. And because of that empathetic, active listening, we can get a better sense of who we're dealing with and how we can help them better.
And it also allows them to really share themselves and what happened, right?
Yeah, it's true. And many times we get comments from clients saying, oh, I wasn't expecting our lawyer to be like this.
Yeah.
You know, because let's face it, you know, we've had a lot of school and we've had a lot of experience, and I'm not sure we're on a pedestal, but a lot of people look up to lawyers as being maybe, you know, conceited or narcissistic and control freaks. But in the end, we're just there to help and to lift them up, our clients who are in need. And so we get lots of comments from people, I didn't expect my lawyer to be like this. We also get clients who because of our marketing, which shows our side, that authentic side of who we are. We get clients who say, I always said if I ever needed a lawyer, it would be you. And that's a real tribute to know that a personal injury lawyer who is the last person you want in your life, that means something bad happened, right? That people actually think about it and say, if I ever needed a lawyer, it would be you. Usually it's like mattress sales. You don't pay attention to mattress sales on TV, right?
Until you need one.
Until you need one. Now mattress sales are all over TV.
Yep.
And same with car dealers. You don't really pay attention to those spots unless you need a car. And so somehow through our marketing, we've been able to attach an emotional connection, whether it's a funny ad or an emotional ad. It resonates with the people to a point where they remember how they feel when they see us on TV and hear about what we do for the community. And hopefully that resonates with them to the point where they're saying, if I ever needed a lawyer, it would be you.
Absolutely. Well, with that sense of community, you guys do a ton to give back, as we've mentioned, but you also, not only are carrying on this legacy within your own family, but also for the state with your Spirit of Nevada efforts. So tell us a little bit about Spirit of Nevada.
So Spirit of Nevada was a concept I had. I wanted to showcase the hidden gems, the beauty of our great state, the organizations, the people that make a difference, that make Nevada the battle-born, independent type of people that we are. And we took it to the TV stations and said, we have this idea for Spirit of Nevada. And they go, nah, we don't want to do that. We already have something like that.
But now.
So I went to lunch after being rejected by all the TV stations. I went with Samantha Chian, our host for Spirit of Nevada. And we were dejected. We had lunch at Cheesecake Factory. And I said, you know what, we're going to produce this show ourselves. And we're going to do it on social media. And so we said, let's go. So we started off about 7-8 years ago with little segments on my favorite haunts, like whether it's the Wetlands Park or Lee Canyon or Tule Springs, Lorenzi Park, the places that I enjoyed going to when I grew up here. And we started to showcase those little hidden gems. And the feedback from people was, oh, I've lived here all my life. I didn't know about that place. And so fast forward, almost 300 episodes later, we've been all over the state. We've been up north in Washoe County and Lake Tahoe and Virginia City. We've been in Elko, Ely, Austin, Eureka, Tonopah. We've been all over Clark County. And we have hundreds of these episodes where we go in and highlight and showcase the good things that they're doing for Nevada, or just a good place to go hang out. And so Spirit of Nevada is quite a remarkable achievement. Last year it won an Emmy Award.
Wow.
And nominated again.
And nominated again this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so last year it was a regional Emmy, but it was voted the best video magazine. And this year it's up again for that, as well as best host. Samantha's quite energetic and really connects with her audience.
She does a great job.
She shows her enthusiasm for all the things that she's showing. She gets to fly with the Thunderbirds, and she's
That's a cool
jet
job
skiing.
to have.
She's got a great job, and it's remarkable that she hasn't been picked up nationally for a show, because she's so good at what she does, and everyone loves Samantha, and whenever she is seen in public, people yell out, "The Spirit of Nevada, girl!" So we're very proud of the show.
I love it.
It continues to grow.
Did the TV stations approach you?
Yeah, they actually did afterwards.
See, that's how it is. Yeah.
They actually did. They
Of
approached
course.
us afterwards after it was successful, because
Of course.
the viewership of Spirit of Nevada
Was huge.
rivals the viewers of the local news on the various stations. And so But we are on a couple of public access stations, like on Your View down south here with Cox, and then up north, trying to think the station we're at in Reno, but it's one of the public access channels where we buy time and run longer episodes on Sunday mornings.
Fun. That's so fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite of all the places? What's your favorite episode? If somebody were to tune into one, do you have a favorite?
Oh, wow. You know, there's a couple of personal favorites, and they go early on. There's one called Cold Creek, where we showcase the wild horses at Cold Creek, just outside of Las Vegas. There's another episode called Rhyolite, which is a ghost town up by Beatty, Nevada. And those are well-produced, fun episode. I think they have the highest views. I think it's 100,000 or more.
That's awesome.
Views
Fantastic,
locally, you
yeah.
know, all organic views. So it may be more. I haven't checked it in a while, but those two episodes are fun episodes. We've been everywhere. I mean, we've done everything. We've done, you know, the Pinball Museum. We've done the Atomic Energy Museum.
A haunted hotel,
The
I think,
haunted
at one point.
hotels. Those actually get the biggest views.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, you know, the Clown Motel
I
in,
saw that one.
in
That was
Tonopah.
scary.
Yeah. The haunted Nevada State Territorial Prison in Carson City.
Ugh.
And so,
Amazing.
We
Yeah,
gotta
in
get on
fact,
the road. We gotta take
Yeah,
a road trip.
for sure.
you know, we didn't mean Spirit of Nevada to mean that kind of spirit, but a lot of people think it's like a haunted series only, and those certainly are some of the most watched episodes. Everyone likes a good ghost story, right?
Yeah.
And there are plenty of them here in the great state of Nevada.
Absolutely. There's a
How
lot
fun.
of skeletons in this closet
That's
here.
right.
A lot of skeletons.
Lake Mead has proved that. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, that was a wild time. My goodness. Well, so you mentioned the Coal Mountain with the wild horse stories, and right before we started, you were mentioning to Camilla that you actually have a few horses on your ranch here in town.
Oh, yeah. So I'm originally from Idaho. I came here when I was a kid, but obviously in Idaho, it's all farming and ranching. And so I suppose that's in my genes. My ancestors, you know, came across the plains in covered wagons and hand carts. And, of course, you know, the great Western spirit still resides here in Las Vegas. You know, we have El Dorado coming up, I think, tomorrow. And so I had the opportunity to buy a small ranch a few years ago out in the Northwest in the rural preservation zone of Las Vegas. And I'm really blessed to have horses and goats and ducks and chickens. And
Yeah.
a cat. And
I love that. You have a cat.
and
She's a cat person.
and a dog.
I'm a dog person.
I'm
so
an everything person.
so yeah, it's been really great for me to have this small ranch and to enjoy a little slower lifestyle than I had before. No offense against Summerlin or the high-rise condos. I prefer the Northwest, a little easier going out there, a
little
little
quieter.
quieter, not so many street lights.
Yet.
And
Yet.
it's very pleasant out
Yeah.
there, and we've enjoyed that, talking to the animals, and you know, I don't do it alone. I have some help to take care of the ranch, and we get a lot of visitors that want to come and see the animals. And I'm right at the base of Lone Mountain, which has a great equestrian park and arena, as well as a great trail that goes around the mountain. And you'll see me riding, you know, a couple of times a week at least.
I love it.
This
We gotta
town,
go out there.
Isn't this town amazing? Like,
Yeah.
we have everything here in Las Vegas.
It's really true. You know, when I turned the last corner around that Lone Mountain Trail, so here I am. All you can see is desert and mountains and sagebrush and yucca and cholla, and then it opens up to a view, and we're a little higher up out there, so it opens up to a view of
whole
downtown
valley.
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I go, wow, what a contrast. Here I am on a horse
Yeah.
in the desert, and I'm looking down at the entertainment capital of the world.
That's
I
brilliant.
love the diversity, the
Yeah.
contrasts that Nevada has to offer. You
That's
know, just
brilliant.
within 15 minutes, you can be in a whole different setting.
Yeah.
That's what makes it amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, one of the things, but
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking of the song "Riding on a Desert with a Horse with Down."
Well, we did a commercial about that, you know.
Yeah.
So.
So he's also a musician. A lot of people may or may not know this, but he
Wow.
also is a musician.
A man of many talents.
Well,
Hey, you got to give yourself some credit
no,
here.
I'm the lead singer of the band. You don't have to be a musician, so you appoint yourself lead singer. So,
How many other singers are there?
well, everyone sings a little bit, but the band is sort of on a hiatus right now. I don't
Yeah.
know. The pandemic kind of knocked us out, and we haven't had the energy to get back together again. But we did get an offer. A lawyer friend of mine owns a bar, and he said we could come play at his sports bar.
That would be so
Yeah,
cool.
We'll be there.
I think we should organize it,
Yeah.
Chrissy.
So it's a pretty good band.
Groupies.
It's all made up of people at the office. My son Josh, of course, is a phenomenal drummer. He's also in another band, a U2 cover band. And so we might get the Rick Harris band back together
See?
soon. Who
That's
knows?
fantastic.
Who knows?
How fun.
Hey, I know who'll be in the front row dancing. This one over here.
Yeah, we're not very good, but we're loud.
I love it. I love it. Well, is there anything else you wanted to ask, Camilla?
No, I mean, I had no idea because I only met you until today through the billboards.
That's what
And-
most people say.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm
So-
I'm just like in awe of how amazing you are. Like your energy is just so
Peaceful.
grand. Yeah, and but
and
so
good.
like solid.
Well, thank you.
You know.
Yeah, we market a lot to get the word out there. We believe that everybody deserves to have the best lawyer, so we have to keep the message going strong. It's a very competitive market here in Las Vegas
Oh, it
among
is.
personal injury lawyers, and I think we're different. We do good work, and we also give back, and so I think that's what makes us different.
Why do you think that is, really quick, going back to that, why do you think that it is so competitive here in Vegas versus other markets?
Well, it's a growing town. We get 50 million tourists a year on top of the growth. 24-hour bars, so you can be hit and killed by a drunk driver any hour of the day because the bars
Yeah.
never close. And we've got, a lot going on here.
And
So-
drinking's not the only thing now,
That's so
right? Because
true,
during
I
the cooler months, when I'm driving, especially from like Spring Valley to Summerlin, I have my windows down, the marijuana smell
It's
coming
bad.
from the cars.
I know.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and people are driving faster and faster.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to be, I thought a pretty lead foot myself, but man, I get blown off the freeways,
Yeah.
and I'm going slightly above the speed limit, and I get passed on both sides by cars racing another 5, 10, 15, 20 miles an hour
Wow.
faster than I'm going to. I wish people would slow down. We'd rather wait, as the old saying goes. We don't want to represent you. We'd rather do something like adoptions or something fun.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because of the number of accidents that happen in Nevada, we are overwhelmed with business and continue to try to help people through that. But we also lobby for safety legislation and stricter enforcement of speed and DUI rules so that we can keep us safe.
Yeah.
So we'd rather wait. We'd rather do something else. So until that happens, though, we'll keep answering the calls. But I really wish that people wore their seatbelts and didn't text and drive. And
Do people still not wear seatbelts till this day?
it's about a 1/3 of
Really?
about 1/3 still don't wear a seatbelt.
That's wild.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me.
It's crazy.
So
I don't think I've ever gotten in the car and not immediately just put on my seatbelt.
You know, in Brazil, it wasn't enforced back in the 90s, but I lived here as an exchange student back in 91. And so I remember going out, my friend had just, turned 18. He got a car. First thing I did when I sat down on the passenger side was put my seatbelt on. And I'm so grateful that I did because he got into an accident.
No. Yeah, it's
But nobody
crazy.
wore seatbelts back then. Because I had been living here for a year, I did
You
it.
just were used to it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But now everybody does.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
My goodness. Well, I think it's interesting because watching your reaction today was very similar to other reactions that I've seen as people have gotten to meet you over the course of time that we've been friends. And I had a little heart-to-heart with Josh, your son, at your party. And I said, I was like, I love your dad. He's just a good human being. And he said, you should tell him that. And I said, I tell him every time I see him.
Well, thank you.
But I genuinely believe that.
Well, I feel the same about you, so thank you.
Thanks for coming on today. We really appreciate you making the time. We know how busy you are, and we were thrilled to have you on the podcast, and absolutely thrilled to have you as a partner in the magazines with us. And thank you all for listening and tuning in today. We'll see you guys next time.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.